long, bro. Like if you've
It's
ever
all right,
trained
yeah.
Brazilian
We'll
Jiu-Jitsu, or wrestling itself, yeah, I mean, you would know it's not easy to keep a man pinned there when he's trying to escape for 21 minutes of a fight. Yeah, I mean, especially as me going into this was on the side of Hamzat's gas tank, or hasn't always been the best. That goes back to Usman's skills as a wrestler and what he managed to do and turn it around on him in that second and third round. I was saying to Sad before it came on, what's going to happen, bro, in that fourth and fifth round when Hamzat starts getting tired and DDP is DDP and starts doing Looney Tune shit. You know what I mean? But he couldn't get the Looney Tune shit off. He kept him down. He kept the control. You've got to give him it. You've got to give him it.
One second, I'll be
But
right
at the
back,
same
guys.
time, I mean, you're always going to get the hardcore fans that enjoy the grappling and the wrestling, the Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, whatever else. Then you're also going to get the casual fans that are like, boo, stand them up, boo, stand them up. But you also need to think of it from an entertainment value and perspective too. Are we wanting to go into championship fights in the middleweight division going forward and just see somebody hold somebody down for 21 minutes? Or do you want to be entertained?
I
That's
mean,
the question at this point.
Did you think with that crucifix, Hamzat was trying to finish him? Because you did mention the only type of, trying to finish the fight came from DDP in terms of trying to submit him. But when Hamzat had him in crucifix, I swear to God, he was trying to finish him. Did you got give DDP fucking
when you're in the crucifix, there's no way you're not trying to finish someone.
I want to add on to that point.
Yeah, please.
When you're in a fight and you're peppering a guy and the guy is not able to protect himself, you'll hear the ref kind of step in and say, hey, like, you got to move or I'm going to stop the fight. So in that sort of instant, when DDP can't defend himself and you're constantly getting peppered, then the ref will have no choice to stop himself. And that's sort of what I think Hamzat was trying to do, was trying to get that TKO in where, like he's kind of putting DDP in a stalemate where he just can no longer defend himself, can no longer move. And there comes a certain point in a fight where the ref will actually have to stop that fight. Obviously, it didn't come during that fight. DDP was able to get out in some sort of aspects, and he wasn't getting major shots taken. But from a technical perspective and a ref's perspective, if you're not defending yourself, and Hamzat's perspective as well, if he's not defending himself, then the fight's going to be stopped at some point. So I think that's sort of the mindset that he sort of had there.
Yeah, man. So I mean, just saying, gotta give DDP a ton of credit as well for surviving those crucifix moments, because we've seen people in crucifix, whether women fight or men fight, that usually gets stopped after a while of basically just taking shots to the head. So credit to DDP for.
I'm genuinely like, I know that from an objective perspective, like for kind of a lot of fans have been hearing that it wasn't that an exciting of a fight, but I've always thought Hamzat's grappling style is very exciting because he's always moving. He's always making transitions. He's always, peppering his opponents. I think, to me, like when I was watching that fight, I thought it was an entertaining fight. But then I was surprised to hear a lot of other people saying it wasn't. Obviously, you want to see a lot of kickboxing in a fight, and there wasn't. But from my perspective, I'm genuinely curious as to if you guys thought it was an entertaining fight or not.
I did, personally.
I mean,
would I like to see more action?
Yao is probably the only one on this panel right now that didn't think it was entertaining. and I understand his reasons because he was for DDP. But Yao,
no, you don't know my reasons.
No. I want to hear it now. We want to hear your reasons now. I'm about to give you the table to tell us your reasons, right? But like somebody just put that back on the screen just now. 50-41.
Yeah.
50-41. Right.
This is something I really want to sort of cut you off, but this is something I'm glad this came up because I was thinking this before the interview and just in the fight as well. Once the scorecards got announced, they don't give 10-8 rounds at hardly ever and as often as they should. You could have made the argument that 4 of those 5 rounds were 10-8.
Yeah.
I don't know. What's the point of the 10-point
I was feeling like a 10-7 in one of them dominant rounds.
loves a 10-8 round.
I love a 10-8 round. I got 4 of them in that fight. Like, whoa, you know what I mean? I was in paradise. But yo, talk to us, man, because you clearly didn't enjoy the fight for your own reasons and how you thought Khamzat managed the fight in terms of how he controlled DDP. But talk to us, your feelings on what you saw about the fight before we start going to some of the videos that Leroy has put together for us.
First of all, shout out to you. Thank you for joining us. Your first time on the show. Good to meet you.
Thank you, guys.
And I agree with what you said about the fact that that's probably what Khamzat was going for. But this is a championship fight. The reason Mark Goddard didn't stop it is because he wasn't doing any damage. Doing this is not fighting. You're just touching the guy. There's even a finger poke. He literally finger poked DDP at some point when DDP had his back. He wasn't doing anything. So there was nothing for Mark Goddard to stop. That's why he stood them up twice. Now, with that said, it's not that I'm upset with Khamzat. I'm upset with both fighters. DDP for not having the skill to get out of that. It's a tough position, don't get me wrong. But come on, dude. 4 rounds, 5 rounds of the same thing. And for Khamzat, for literally just laying on DDP's chest and not fighting an MMA fight. Literally, he said, okay, cool. I may have him in this position, but I'm just going to keep it. I'm going to avoid getting into a position to finish the fight. Hence, he didn't throw up a single submission. The significant strike count, he threw 500, but of those, only 18 were seen as significant. And for me, the problem is people are telling me I'm a casual for not enjoying that. Come on. Why would I want to watch 20 minutes of a guy sitting on another guy's chest? That's not a fight. It's literally not a fight. It's skillful. Don't get me wrong. Don't call it a dominant win. All he did was sit on his chest. And that's my issue with this fight, is the fact that DDP did not have the skill to get out of it. He was trash.
So can I so hold on. No, because you're not gonna shit on my guy.
Tell him,
I'm gonna shit all over him.
I can't believe you let him sit on that side.
Listen, mate.
He's a great fighter.
I'm gonna give you a good old
to show that he's a great fighter.
I'm gonna give you a good old saying that one of my dad's friends used to tell me. Don't shit down my leg and tell me it's raining. Yeah. Now listen.
Listen. Piss on my back and tell me it's raining. What?
Yeah.
You shitting? You got diarrhea.
Don't piss on my back. Yeah. Listen. Whatever it is, but all I'm saying, is listen. When it comes to your guy, we're not even talking about the whole. Oh, he just sat on him and he didn't even want to win the fight, bro. Anytime your guy got up, what happened? He got ragdolled. He got moved like a ragdoll, thrown across the ring.
He was also trash. Don't get me wrong, but don't tell me that was a good fight. That's my point.
Yeah, let him get his point across, bro. Yeah, let him get his point across, dude. One at a time. Come on.
Yeah, come on, man. Come on. You see, this is what happens. They start getting protective, and then they're like, "I told you he was shit."
You talk about getting protective, bro. You got all defensive the other night too. So come on.
Yeah, because you were all against
last week. They had you on the ropes last week.
Listen, let me remind you guys. I had man telling me DDP needs to be second on the pound for pound list, kicking either one of Islam Makhachev or Ilia Topuria off that second place. I was like, what am I hearing, man?
Who said that? Who said second?
No way.
Ola said that.
Did you?
Listen.
God damn. That was pretty.
No. That was on my list with Jax, not the pound for pound list.
Dad, can I say one?
That was on my 15 list with Jax. That was on that list.
Right. Okay.
Yeah, it went no pound for pound list. You know what I mean? The pound for pound list was a question for you lot, not me.
But I disagree. That I think he did try to go for submissions. But DDP done a very good job. I'll give him that. He done a very, very good job with guarding that neck and stopping any kind of submission from happening. He was like, yeah, okay, I can't stop any of or defend any of the takedowns. I can't defend what you're doing when you're on top of me to try and get me in the crucifix or whatever you were doing for that whole time. But what he didn't do is ever let that neck be in any way, shape, or form available for him to get into and submit him. Now, the only thing I would have said for Khamzat is I personally would have preferred him to finish that fight, and I think he could have finished that fight. But I don't know why he didn't finish that fight, because I
Right.
personally think he could have
Right.
finished it.
Hold on. I'm gonna one minute here because I want to come to you, Tom. Now
Yeah.
check this out. Sometimes, as a fighter yourself, and you're a striker. You're a very, very good striker. We've seen you do damage in the octagon, put people away, right? But
I'll be back in a
when
minute.
you face an opponent that you prepare for, like a Islam, like a Hamza, like a Habib, you know what they're gonna do.
Yeah.
You can game plan all you want. You guys have been in the cage with them.
Yeah.
How do you deal with fighters like that? Like you want to stop them, but how do you stop?
Man,
How do you stop fighters like that?
It's honestly just like styles make matchups, or sorry, styles make fights for a reason. And I mean, like, we're talking about like Hamza, like, why would he just like wrestle? Like, it wasn't entertainment, this and that. But it's like, from his perspective, he took him down the first round. It worked. He's going to try it again the second. It worked. Why would he just like start to divert from a game plan that he's winning the fight? And at the end of the day, it's only about winning. He doesn't give a shit about entertaining at that point, because at the end of the day, he's got this big bag he can collect after he wins a fight. If he doesn't win the fight, he loses out on so many opportunities, his stardom, everything. So why would he take a risk for someone like a fan to just be like, oh, well, like, it was a boring fight? It's like, well, at that point, there's so much pressure on him. His game plan was working the first round, worked the second. So why all of a sudden in the third round he would just change it up? Like, that just doesn't make sense to me at all. That's just my take on sort of what happened there. And obviously,
So you think Hamza showed good fight IQ during the fight?
Exactly. It's just like, you're just being smart. It's like, why would I? Like, obviously, Dricus is very, very dangerous. He's an amazing fighter, and like, Hamza knew that. So he's like, why would I give him any chance to be able to kind of like, you know, be in this fight when his game plan is working the whole time? And piggybacking off your point of like, hey, like, you know, you're preparing for a guy, let's just say I'm fighting a grappler, and, you know, like, you know, it's coming, but you can't stop it. Like, that's the worst feeling of all time. You're just gonna, you know, Dricus is obviously like an absolute killer, and he's got a really strong mindset, but like, that wears on you in the fight. You're just thinking in the middle of the fight, you're like, oh, I'm actually fucked right now. And, you know, like, it's just not a fun feeling at all. So I've been there.
It's even worse when whoever you're fighting is talking to you and letting you know how fucked you are as well.
Yeah.
That shit, it definitely can be fun. And the other thing I wanted to ask you before I come back round to Yao, and we start hitting some of the videos that we got. Saying someone fought in a dominant way, like we just seen with Hamza, isn't that just as good as a finish in some cases, especially cases like this? Isn't that just good as a finish? Because people were looking for finishes.
Yeah.
But for me, a dominant win like that is just as good as a finish for me, man. You know what I mean? I don't know. I just wanted to get your take on that.
Yeah, honestly, that's a really good point. Like, obviously, when he knocked out Gerald Mearshart in like under a minute with like one punch, obviously that was very impressive. But you're gonna get some people that are gonna be like, oh, well, like, that was a lucky punch, this and that. There was nothing lucky about Hamzat's last performance. Like, that was pure dominance. And what's impressive about that is we haven't seen pure dominance like that in, you know, a 5-round title fight. And I don't even know, GSP used to do it, like,
forever.
GSP used to do it, but like pure dominance from start.
Yeah, GSP cost check was crazy.
Yeah.
That's all. And that was in Canada as well. He had to come to the land of the fucking enemies, bro.
Yeah.
And do that to cost check in front of it, bro. I remember that fight like yesterday. I still get goosebumps thinking about that fight right now. And Goschek was a little bit wealthy as well.
Oh, he was really wealthy.
Yeah, so
really wealthy. So I mean, yeah, you bring up a good point. It's like everyone wants to see a finish, but there's just something so impressive about like start to finish, pure dominance of like, you know, and obviously some people didn't enjoy the performance, and I could understand why, to be honest with you. Like, I understand other people's perspective, but while I was watching it, having a few beers, I had a little buzz on. I thought it was a great fight. You know, maybe I'm not remembering it all, but I thought it was a lot of fun.
I mean, looking at TJ Delicious fight with Eddie Barrow as well. Even on the stand-up, like the dominance was crazy. The way he treated Barrow in that fight, and he did it twice. Like it wasn't a joke.
No.
You know, there's something about dominating a fight that, you know, for me is just as impressive as a finish. Sometimes. But let's see some of the videos that Leroy has put together for us. Hopefully, McDonough would have a few more people in by the time we go on. Let's see this video right here.
Tom Aspinall shared his reaction to UFC 319, addressing fans who labeled Khamzat Chimaev's performance as boring. Tom said he personally enjoyed it, calling it complete domination.
He's won every round anyway, so complete shutout for Khamzat Chimaev, new champion at middleweight. Congratulations to Khamzat.
Overall thoughts?
Commiserations to DDP. I thought it was going to be a more exciting fight, first of all, but I love grappling anyway, so I enjoyed it. But I know there's a lot of fans who probably think it's like hugging him or whatever, but I personally really enjoyed it. I mean, just complete domination. Just complete domination from Khamzat. It's there was just one-way traffic for the full 5 rounds. Got a bit hairy like the last minute. DDP put some shots on him, but just didn't have enough left in the tank, I don't think, to do much damage. So congratulations to Khamzat and team.
Shout out to Full Mount MMA, and our boy Olin has just pulled up into the chat as well. Salute to you, my bro. Hope you're doing well.
How we doing, fellas?
Yeah, man, I'm doing good, man. We're doing good. And Tom Theocaris is on the show with us right here. That's Olin. That's Tom.
How we doing, Big Tom?
Good
to see you.
Where are you from?
I'm in San Diego right now. What about yourself?
Nice. I'm in Toronto.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Definitely a place I haven't been, but I want to go. It's on the list.
Man, I've always wanted to go to San Diego. I've heard amazing things about it.
Well, you'll never catch me talking anything negative about it. I'm a big fan myself. So if you ever find yourself out here, definitely hit me up. I'll tell you where the best places to eat and view are.
Sweet.
Okay. Look, Yao, you was very, very harsh on Khamzat style, but I know Tom Aspinall is a fighter that you respect very, very much. And hearing that video, shout out to Full Mount MMA. First of all, make sure you go and check them out. Check out their work. They do fantastic work on their page. Hearing what Tom said there in that video, like how you seeing it now, and basically hearing from the panel as well.
Look, I think what he said is quite important and indicative. Is a lot of fans might think it's boring, but he enjoys grappling, and that for me is the point. Is this is mixed martial arts. This is not UFC BJJ. He says one-way traffic. Yes, because he did one thing. Show me the versatility. Show me the Khamzat that we love. I love Khamzat. Don't get me wrong. I'm a big fan.
We just talked about Khamzat knocking out Meerschaert. That's versatility, bro.
Yeah,
but that's exactly my point. I get that, and that's my point. In this fight, not that he was one-dimensional per se, but he did one thing, and that's why I'm also upset with DDP for, bro, what was your corner telling you? He did one thing. How can your corner not help you through that one single thing? What is wrong? Like, what's wrong in the corner in that case? And that's why I'm saying, don't tell me that was a great win, dominant win, blah, blah, blah. Khamzat did one thing. DDP couldn't fight one thing. That's not a dominant win. That's one fighter not being able to stop one move. And that's really my issue with this. It's not the fact that, by the way, congrats to Khamzat, which I haven't said. Congrats to him. He won the middleweight title the way he needed to win. That's what he's there for. And I completely respect that. But my issue is that those two fighters did not perform at the level of the fight of the year contender, which is what it should have been. But both of them shat the bed, in my opinion. How can you not stop a single move for 5 rounds, DDP? Khamzat, how can you do one move for 5 rounds? It doesn't make sense to me if the people would say that's great. That's dominant. No, it's one move that one guy couldn't stop. So what?
Olin, look, you went with DDP as well, and you're a big advocate, you know, for his fighting style, for the type of champion that he's been. We've all been, not just you, but you're a big advocate for him as well. But what, you know, watching that fight, bro, like, and hearing what Yao said there, what Tom Aspinall's been saying, and you know, Tom's chipped in as well. What's your take on everything that's being said right now, and the criticism that Khamzat is getting for being a one-trick pony?
Yeah, man. I mean, look, you'll never hear me talk shit about somebody winning that dominantly. right? Like he went out there, he did the thing, he crucifixed the man. He got 21 minutes and 40 seconds of control time in a fight that was all of 25 minutes. So almost 22 out of 25 minutes of control time is very impressive. I tip my hat to him, right? Imaginary hat. But if you've ever played Mortal Kombat or Street Fighter or Tekken, right? I don't care if you get a flawless victory on me, right? Even if you finish it up with a fucking fatality. Doesn't matter if all you did was smash the fucking X button and spam the same move, kid. You're annoying. You're lame. Nobody enjoys watching that. Okay, like if you enter a competition, Mortal Kombat competition, and you win by spamming the same move, nobody cares that you won the 100K pot. Everyone's making fun of you, and they're probably not going to let you compete next time.
There's also
okay, like
there's also two things to say though. Is it he didn't finish him because one of two reasons: either Dreykus is just nails as fuck, he's just tough as they come.
Oh, facts.
And B, like he didn't want to give up position and maybe gas himself out because they've been obviously it was in his head that he wanted to get gassed out. So
classic position over submission methodology.
Yeah, like there's two things.
Tom, two things can be true, bro.
Yeah.
And that's the thing, right? Like I again, like it was dominant. And I agree with what Yao said. Like, what the hell was the corner thinking from Drickus, right? Like they're smiling, they're giggling, they're like, but they're not giving him advice on how to defeat the crucifix. And I get it. Like the version of the crucifix in which Khamzat was actually using, it's not a traditional crucifix. In a traditional crucifix, you have your like rear leg basically resting with the shin point across the wrist point of your opponent. From there, I've watched like 6 different educational videos since the fight, and everybody's showing how to get out of that one. And I'm like, cool, great. That's a great 5-minute video you did there, BJJ guy, but it's not helping DDP in this situation when he's got crossed legs. Like we started calling what Islam and Khabib do the Dagestani handcuff, right? I think they're going to start calling this the Chechen crucifix because it was a very nice variation. The crossed legs add a whole other layer, like an onion, bro. Like, and it's a tough fucking layer.
I'm glad you're sorry.
Like it's again, like I can't deny the domination, but I wish he would have tried to be a little bit more gutsy and go for the finish there. But again, if he does that, he probably doesn't end up getting 21 and a half minutes of control time. And maybe he's made to look a little bit human. So he went out there, he had a mission, and he completed that mission to a T. Can we be mad at that? I mean, as MMA fans, as Drickus du Plessis fans, absolutely. But can we look another way and try and say like, no, I can't respect that. Fuck that, bro. You've got to respect that performance.
Well, my question is what exactly were people expecting from that performance out of Khamzat though? Like, were they expecting him to stand and strike? Absolutely not. So like, to act surprised that this happened, it's like, it's kind of like, it's not surprising at all, in my opinion.
Not at all. And again, like if you want to know what would have happened if he would have stood and exchanged with Khamzat, you can look at the stats on paper. Even if you're like a casual or an uneducated MMA fan, you can look at the stats and they'll tell you the tell, right? 21 and a half minutes of control time, 529 total strikes to 45, right? He outlanded him on total strikes more than 10x. But in significant strikes, he only outlanded him 2 to 3 or 2 to 1.
That's 18% of that 500.
Isn't that a fun stat?
DDP was lighting him up, and
DDP was lighting him up in the 4th round when he let him up, bro.
When you getting lit up, bro, like come on, dog. Like what's a man supposed to do if you're getting lit up and you saw a big puppy dog power DDP start lighting you up? You go back to your superpower, bro. Take him the fuck down.
And the time in which he shot in the 1st round went down every round. So every round he was a little bit more like, I don't want to do this.
It's sad. Let me ask you this, Sad. Do you think that kind of domination is corner should have just threw in the towel? I'm just asking for a friend.
No.
I'm asking Sad.
I don't personally for me, do you know what I mean? If I was shameless, I'd say yes. But speaking objectively, I'm going to say no.
That's what I asked you.
Yeah.
I know
Speaking
how shameless you can
objectively,
be, bro. I've seen it, bro.
nah, I'm gonna calm down for now, do you know what I mean? Because you know what I mean, now we start the Hamza army at the top, do you know what I mean? And we're just keeping him at the top now. But listen, I don't think so, because DDP, we don't know what could happen in that fight.
He
Something
pulled
could
something at the
happen.
end. He pulled something at the
Exactly. Do
end.
you know what I mean? He could get up and hit him with a leg kick to the face, and then all of a sudden Hamzat Chimaev's on the floor laid out. Do you know what I mean? And DDP is like just freaking going crazy and screaming. So
Yeah,
you
man.
never know. You never end it off until the fat lady sings, man. Until the fat lady sings, you don't end it off. Simple as that. And the thing is with Hamzat Chimaev, listen, I understand that a lot of people are saying it's boring. A lot of people are saying, "Oh, what's the point of watching this? This isn't real MMA. This isn't real combat sport." But this is wrestling. This is getting your guy to the ground and making sure that he can't get up. I think this is a real skill, and people just don't understand that this is a real skill. There's a skill in taking your man down and keeping him there. Because
But don't tell
DDP
me it's
is
an
not
entertaining fight or a good fight. A skill, I
okay, but
agree.
no, I'm not saying it's entertaining, but I'm saying it's skillful. It is domination, and the fact that you're able to take the fact you're able to take someone down like DDP with the body size that he has, the size that he is, to take him down and keep him on the ground. Like, come on, man! I guarantee, if apart from Tom, if any one of us tried to go and take DDP to the ground, how long do we think actually, even if we could take him to the ground, how long do we think we'll have him?
I'm confident in 15 seconds, Seth. I'm confident in 15 seconds on top before he absolutely ragdolls me and makes me feel like a small child.
Exactly.
I got half a second.
That's why there's a skill. And that's why there's a skill in what Hamza did.
And I agree.
And I'm only saying that if he's already like cut weight, hasn't had time to rehydrate, and I've got the like 15 to 20 pounds I've got on him currently. Confident as hell in that 15 seconds. And still, I'm just giving myself 15 seconds.
I'll tell you what right now. There's somebody that actually agrees with Yao on Yao's point. And he thinks, actually, let me just hit the video that Leroy don't put together, but let's hear him from the horse's mouth.
Luke Thomas, let's go.
Caio Bahayo believes he has an advantage over Hamzat Chimaev. Caio is set to face Nasruddin Imavov at UFC Paris on September 6th. However, he says if the UFC were to ask him to fight Hamzat right away, he says he's ready. In an interview with MMA Junkie, Caio said he did what he does to everyone. He dominated the guy with his wrestling and jiu-jitsu and all that stuff. I think people don't have the answer for that. They don't know how to prepare for that. They think it's just about hire a lot of wrestlers to try to take you down and train how to defend takedowns. It has nothing to do with that. People make a lot of mistakes when they prepare to fight against Hamzat. He did what he always does, but this time he didn't finish. When a grappler comes and hugs the guy and he doesn't finish, it becomes a boring fight. It's a title fight with high-level guys. Dricus du Plessis was doing very good in the division. He was the reigning champion. When the grappler guys come and don't finish, it becomes a boring fight like that. For me, it's the same. I always see him as the same. He's a phenomenal athlete, very strong. His wrestling is high level. It's almost impossible to scramble with him because he does that since he was 9 years old. He does scrambles all his life. I don't think that's the way. The same thing. I spent 1 month in his training camp when he was at All Stars, and I know very well how he works, his system and everything. I have an advantage between all the middleweight fighters. I'm the one that has an advantage to beat him because I know exactly what he's doing and what is his system and the steps he goes through and how to deny those steps. I'm very respectful for Hamzat. He's like a brother to me. But at this time, it's the level of competition. It's me and him. To be honest with you, if the UFC comes to me right now and says, F Imavov, he's a guy that gives us a lot of work. He didn't want to fight on International Fight Week. He called the backup leftovers. He don't respect the UFC. So F Imavov, F Paris. Get prepared to fight Hamzat in Abu Dhabi in October. I'm ready. If the UFC offers me this, I'll say yes right away.
Yo. There's a lot to unpack in that video there. Shout out to Full Man. We heard Charles Barallo talking, and I want to come. Hey, but then did you hear all of that video there? The last one that we just
never
played?
seen it all. It was on daddy duties there, boys. Apologies.
All right, don't worry. I won't throw that question your way. Maybe we'll piggyback off of one of the guys. So, let me ask you this. From hearing what Chao Baralo says there, does that validate some of the things that you've been saying about Hamza in terms of, some of the holes and just repeating the same thing, only has the same style, all that stuff? Does that validate it? Hearing that from Chao Baralo, that's why I brought it to you, that there's somebody that actually agrees with you.
Yeah, so he has echoed exactly what I've been saying. Validation, yes, but then again, he's someone who has vested interest, so his motivation's a little bit different. But it is the case.
So do you.
No, look, and that's why I'm saying at the end of the day, DDP was right. Hamza beat him on the night. He won fair and square. We can't take any of that away from him. But for me, it's a case of, if we do that in a title fight, if that becomes all you need to do is spam one move, what is that really? For me, it just doesn't. I'm not giving him the plaudits that others are giving him, because for me, it's a case of, yeah, you won, but go and fight a real fight, because what was that? And that's really where I am. So I'm not taking anything away from the fact that, like Saad said, he managed. None of us here would probably be able to sit on DDP for even a minute, and he did it for 20 minutes. And I accept that, but don't tell me it was a great win. It was a dominant win. No, he did one move. So Kaya was right. Once he comes up against someone that exposes his holes, I can't even bring up Gilbert Burns because he chose to stand and bang, and we know that his striking is not his strong point. So does that mean that we're going to get a champion that's just going to sit on people's chests for the next 2-3 title defenses?
I hope not. And I honestly hope that that's not happening. We're seeing a lot of we're seeing a lot of, I hate to say this, a lot of Russians that are kind of doing that in this sport. They're just so dominant, and there's, nothing wrong with wanting to win and that sort of stuff. But I really hope that the UFC isn't going down this path where these fighters want to win that badly, which every fighter wants to. It's all about winning, and obviously wrestling is the most dominant martial art there is on the face of the planet. You take a guy down, you sit on him, there's nothing a guy can do, you're winning the fight. So in order for that to change, there's going to have to be a different scoring system, and we all know that that's not going to happen, because that would change the whole dynamic of the sport. So unfortunately, until someone comes along and is able to kind of anti-wrestle in a better sort of aspect, then we're going to be seeing this a lot more, in my opinion.
What I do want to say is, with the new broadcast here,
forget.
that as well. There's a little snake in the grass. What I do want to say is,
snake in the grass.
with the new broadcasting deal, they could change the bonus structure, which could incentivize fighters.
Oh, you're taking my talking notes,
but
brother.
What I also want to say, though, how does that reflect for fighters like Hamzat, who don't need that money necessarily? Yeah, would it be nice? Yeah. But do they need to chase it? Probably not. Do they want to win and remain champion? Yeah. Pay-per-view points are probably now going to be out of the window, so it kind of loses that aspect from it too. So there's a lot of things moving at the moment of how's that going to look and what's that going to change.
This is a really fascinating topic about the new deal, and that's something that I kind of want to talk about. I still don't know what's going on as far as Canada broadcasting rights go, because we do have a deal with Sportsnet. Not really sure what's happening here.
Oh, get this guy off the fucking show. I don't want to hear this guy.
He's talking about Cross, not you, bro.
Not you. Sorry, the guy at the bottom.
He's
He's not even talking yet, and I can hear him loud and fucking clear.
Hey, welcome crossover to the show. Welcome.
Did you bring your spoon?
Show, brother.
Did you bring your big spoon so you can stir the pot?
All these guys on here, man, doing all this whining, man. Just face it.
Hey.
Your boy got dominated, fellas.
I call the spade a spade, kid.
Tell them, Cross. Tell them, Cross.
I bet you wish you would have taken that bet now, bro. I'd be doing 2 shots and paying you right now.
Hey, Cross.
Bro, I told you. Sometimes you gotta call a spade a shovel, bro. You know this.
That's a fact, bro. That's a fact.
I mean, bro, the guy above me doing all this whining, you got to stop it, dog. You got to stop it.
Okay, all right. Yeah, you got to be more specific, bro.
No, you're talking about Ola. I'm not there.
I was about to say, Ola, who did you pick again, bro?
Oh, why you bringing up old shit? You know what I mean? Hey, my pick got hacked.
My pick's got hacked, he said.
No, I was telling y'all for months he was going to get mauled.
All right.
Big up to crossover. Big up to crossover because he's the only one.
You know, I'm trying to say,
We got
Cross.
the Cross.
You know, I've been planning
Cross.
this shit for months. You know what I mean?
Listen.
My picks got hacked, man. I've been trying to fucking throw spanners in the works. You know what I'm trying to say? Yeah,
Right,
he did say DDP on the list, but really and truly, deep down, you know what I mean? It was always
in your heart you chose DDP. We were with you, bro. We know. Look, I want to jump back to what Tom was saying just for a sec. I think the rights deal is very confusing because there's different rights deals in different countries. Some of them are extended for another year. Some of them, I think Netherlands is still going for like another 2 years with their deal. So a lot of these are up in the air. Bad news is you don't know where all of the UFC events are going to be housed. Good news is Paramount Plus is available in most countries, if not all. And the ones it's not, you can download a VPN. But I truly think what needs to happen, as far as what McDane's point was, is the bonus structure needs to go up, right? It's been 50K for the last more than a decade.
Yeah.
Inflation has happened since then. We need to make sure that bonus is getting inflated for people like Tom here. So I think it needs to be 6 figures. It should be 100K, right? At the very least. And I think we need to restructure the bonus structure entirely. We don't need a performance of the night. We don't need a fight of the night. We don't need a knockout or sub of the night. What we need is to incentivize finishes.
Yeah.
Whether submissions or knockouts. I think every finish should be rewarded a bonus. Yeah. You do that, and Khamzat's fights do not go 25 minutes or 15. I can fucking promise you that. I'd bet my left testicle on that. I promise you.
I love that. I love that too. I love it. I love it.
And something else you could do is you could incentivize it by round. Like if you finish somebody in the first round, you get even more.
Exactly like the DraftKings fantasy sports does. Like if you choose a fighter for your fantasy team on a DraftKings fantasy event, if they get a first round finish, it's a guaranteed 90 to 95 points. If they get it in the first 60 seconds, it's a guaranteed 125. So like, and then every round that it goes on, that point stat goes down further and further. And if you get a decision, it's even lower. So I definitely think that should be the case, Cross. And maybe even structuring contracts to where, maybe if your fight is a finish, you get your show and win money. Maybe if you get a finish, your win money on the top is a little bit more.
Okay. Before we go any further, I really want to give Cross the floor to really, you know what I mean? Because we've been building up this fight for a long time. You've had Khamzat the whole time. I really do want to give you the floor, you know what I mean, just to let these motherfuckers have it, man.
You know how long I've been waiting for this? I'm about to make a name for myself here.
Brother, like just listening to it for months and months and months.
And that was crossover, ladies and gentlemen. Let's get back to the topics at hand.
At this point, you might as well remove me because I'm not sure if I'm ready to hear that shit.
But I mean, hey guys, I know, watching it with you guys, I could see the faces. Y'all weren't really feeling it, but it was beautiful. I thoroughly enjoyed it. Dealing with Yao harassing me on all social media platforms for months was miserable, but I'm glad I got the last laugh there. On the flip side, I mean, really, guys, I think DDP only landed like 3 or 4 significant strikes through round 4. So, I get it, but really, what it came down to is I really don't think he faced a wrestler sufficient enough that really could expose it, and he finally got in there with somebody that really can just show it that hey, there's levels to this, and Khamzat's gonna be a tough guy to defeat. I really think the moving forward, the only guy for me really I think could possibly do it is Fluffy, really. But I'm not gonna go on and on today. I'm gonna stay on top of Yao on his neck in the group chat. But yeah, it's a great time. It's a great time, boys. Great time.
What was it you were saying, Yao? What happens when it gets into the 4th and 5th rounds?
Look, I wouldn't say he showed levels. He showed one level. As I'm saying, one move does not count as levels.
Hey,
he didn't have to show more. That's all I needed.
Thanks for the setup for the soundbite.
Tried. That's the thing.
That was wicked. Hey, Tom, let me come to you because you're 185er and you know some of these guys I'm probably probably cross paths with some of the guys in and around the division. But hearing what Charles Borrallo says there, does having that inside knowledge or training in and around Hamza or training with him and knowing some of the moves that he made, does that really count as an advantage like that, especially in real time when Hamza's trying to do damage and get someone out of there?
Yeah, like 100%. Like I would agree with that. And yeah, when you train with someone, you get to know them, and not about only what they do, like their mindset, how they train, their specific moves. Obviously, certain techniques people learn and people get better and that sort of stuff. So, I mean, yes, I agree that when you train with someone, you know them better and you could kind of defend better. But at the same time, too, they've trained with you, and also, too, people evolve as fighters, right? So it's like, I agree 100% that, yeah, when you train with someone, you know what they do. Like, for example, for me, people who train with me know exactly what I do, what my strengths are, what my weaknesses are. And so you're kind of like leaving yourself vulnerable in that sense. You're in the gym, you're making yourself vulnerable because not all your techniques are showcased in a fight. I mean, I've got so many different techniques that I've never used in a fight. So, I mean, it definitely helps.
I mean, we've seen it, McDane, with Danny Dubois and Anthony Joshua. Like, them two spat together for a long time, and Danny Dubois, he knew how to handle AJ, and he got him out of there. And in these sort of situations, sometimes we see on the flip side with, say, Usman and Gilbert Burns. They trained together at Sanford MMA for under Henry Hooft for quite a long time, and we saw what happened there. But how much does that help Charles Borrallo into, especially you can from the video that he said, he was kind of putting the feelers up that if UFC was to say this, fuck Paris, fuck Imavov, if they was to say this, it was kind of planting the seed out there. I'd say yeah, I'll go to Abu Dhabi in October, So what do you think with Charles Borrallo there? Basically calling the shots, really.
Like calling the shots as in like he wants to fight, or he thinks he's
good, bro.
Sorry, he's got like calling the shots as in like he knows his game plan, or calling the shots as in he wants to fight Hamzat. Which one was what's the question you're referring to?
Right. I was saying him calling the shots for Hamzat and saying he can see the holes in his game. He's kind of planting the seeds out there for UFC to really give him the shot, because he's got a fight with Imavov lined up in Paris. But he was saying, look, if UFC was to say fuck Paris, fuck Imavov, would you fight Hamzat in Abu Dhabi in October? He's saying he'll go right for it. So I just think, I was just asking McDane what he thought, to putting out his shots there.
I think, I think he's doing a really good job at marketing himself to getting the next shot. I think, the louder the guy talks, I mean, it just seems like the UFC really likes that. And given like the rankings, obviously that plays a huge factor, but people like guys who talk shit, you know what I mean? Like, it's fun to watch, and it brings a lot of attention to the fight. So, I mean, I think he's doing a good job at promoting himself, if anything.
Yeah, man.
They're also backing the fighting nerds right now as well, and pushing them forwards and getting right behind all the fighting nerds fighters. So if they offered him a title fight over facing Imavov as a title decider, eliminator, you'd be stupid not to take it. You'd be stupid not to take it. You know what I mean? So yeah, if the opportunity comes around, I can see them doing that, and then looking at giving Imavov somebody else. Maybe even Fluffy. You know what I mean?
Cross, is it crazy that we were just listening over a week ago to Dean Thomas saying Hamzat is not going to fight more than once a year, and now we're talking about him fighting in October. He's talking about him fighting in October. You know, that's a quick turnaround in something that Dean Thomas was referring to. And now, the situation where, you know, Hamza competes in Abu Dhabi.
So when you become a champion, like your schedule isn't really up to you. Like the UFC, like they're gonna plan out cards pretty far out, and they're gonna stack things in a way. So the whole like you being in control of when you fight, it's kind of like the higher and higher you move up the rankings, and once you become champion, you lose more and more control as far as how frequent you're gonna fight.
John Jones.
I agree with that because they need to stack paper. Well, I guess with the Paramount Plus deal or whatever, they needed to stack pay-per-views. They're not going to put 3 title fights like 170, 185, 205 on a one pay-per-view because then that's, you know, fucking up their schedule because then they won't have enough title fights for other pay-per-views because we all know that the UFC only stacks main events for pay-per-view championship fights for pay-per-view. So you do have a really good point there.
Yeah, you were saying something?
I was saying John Jones.
What was your point to John Jones, though? Tell us.
He was saying John Jones can sit on the shelf for 3 years. He fights whenever he wants to. And I completely agree with that. I'll jump in here. Like, look, I truly think that, going back to what Tom was saying earlier, like, training with somebody exposes a lot of things because you see things in training that you'll never see in the octagon. You'll see me at my most tired when I'm training in the gym for 2-3 hours. I'm never going to fight for 2-3 hours, right, boys? But across that 15 to 25 minutes, maybe after seeing me tire out in the gym across those 2-3 hours, you know how to get me there. You know the express route to tire me out. You know my strengths, you know my weaknesses, you know how I capitalize on things, and you also know where I falter and where I fall short. That is a cheat code going in there, right? Like this is a fact. And another thing that I think a lot of people, especially like if you've never trained, like, and no offense to any of the viewers that have never trained, but something that a lot of people, you know, that's why they call it the untrained eye, right? Like if you train, you know yourself, like Tom, you can probably speak to this, that you have a tick, right? And maybe the first year or two you're training, you don't know you have a tick, but once someone points it out, you're like, fuck, I do that every time.
Yeah.
Damn. And it's true. Like Dustin Poirier has the shorts pull up, right? Rashad Evans would touch his eyebrows every couple seconds to make sure his hands were in guard. And every like third time he touches eyebrow, he's going to pump out the jab. Yeah. And you can learn to read these things. If I train with you, bro, you're writing the fucking book for me.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah. I agree with that. But again, too, though, it's about like being 100% confident, as Chow was kind of like saying. It's like almost false confidence because guys do get better, right? Guys
facts.
do evolve. So it's like the fact that he thinks 100% because they've trained together, he's going to win the fight. It's like, you know, you do have a lot of valid points, but like people do change as fighters. So
I agree with that, but I also don't think that he's 100% confident that he'll go in there and smash Khamzat, right? But I also I met the guy twice. Both times I met him, the first time I met him, instantaneous. So I was like, holy fuck, that guy is a Brazilian Johnny Cage from Mortal Kombat.
I've trained with him.
He's the confidence that he comes with when he's moving and everything that he does. Like it's almost a persona. It's an alter ego, and it's incredible to witness, right? So I feel like part of that allure, part of that facade is him telling himself like, yeah, I'm the shit. I'm the best. And so if he continues doing that, that's another thing going back to what Crossover was saying, like they're building the fighting nerds right now. They will push this guy to the moon if he continues winning fights. So you talk that confidently, that's a surefire way to get your current fight canceled and pole vault yourself into a title shot in October. Yeah. If you sound like you even have a shadow of a doubt, yeah, I mean, maybe they go with RDR. That's a fun fight too, right?
Going back to the John Jones thing, like he could fight whenever he wants and that sort of stuff. It's like he could just come out of the woodworks. It's true, but it's not because like they're not going to book him and then like just book him for another event 3 months down the line. In my opinion, like the frequency of fights for these guys is going to be a lot lesser. just because like the star power and you know, for example, Conor McGregor, they're not going to book him anywhere else but Vegas. That's just like straight up, and they're only
Or the White House.
Yeah, exactly. So it's like certain venues guys are going to fight at and that sort of stuff. And for example, if like Volk, for example, if you're going to book him, it's most likely going to be the fights in Australia or like certain demographics on the planet, right? So if they have a show in Australia in October, like hypothetically speaking, and Volk's like, I want to fight in September, they're not going to book him in September, is what I'm trying to say.
Yeah.
100%. Back to Cal Barrio. He gotta stop the cap, man. He don't believe that shit he talking about, man. He already know what time it is, man.
So is that a bet you'll take then, Crossover?
Bro.
Couple shots, couple dollars.
Olin, you can try as much as you want, brother. You can try.
I'll bet on Brazilian Johnny Cage all day, baby.
I'm sure you will, but he probably won't even get the opportunity. He's gonna take an L in 2 weeks. So I mean, we ain't even gonna have to
like that.
Are you
like
saying
that?
It's all fake news. It's phony stuff.
If you beat him up, would you take the bet? If you beat him up,
bro, I am chilling, man. Nothing y'all can say can move me. I am not sweating.
No, I mean we know you're chilling. We're just asking if you're chilling confidently in your boy Boris.
We're just asking.
Absolutely. I mean, I was the only. Me and Jax were the only ones back in this past weekend, and everybody had all this confidence.
I'm just saying, you wouldn't take the bet, bro.
I backed him too in my mind. I backed him.
In my mind. Fucking guy.
Bro, Barrio know he gonna get mauled too, dog. He don't want them problems, man. He's just trying to set himself and get into a fight to get that paycheck. It is what it is. Like I see what he's doing. It's a business move. It's a business. Of course you do, but you like DDP, and we saw how that went.
Like, come on, bro. Off, dude.
Come on now. Come on now. Come on now.
I think Borjalio has a better chance of at least making it a competitive fight. And that's sort of my issue with the DDP versus Chimaev fight, is that at some point stop being competitive because he was doing one move. So I hear you, Chris. I kind of agree.
So you mean 50-45 instead of 50-44? That's what you mean?
Bro, with all due respect to everybody in Africa and South Africa, DDP got his BJJ belt in Africa. Caio Borjalio is a legit black belt from Brazil, where the fucking discipline was made.
Who giving black belt?
Oh, bro.
Who giving black belt?
Now, hold on. I need to ask y'all this. I asked you a question in the chat, and I said, save it for Dust Up Shakedown. Remember that question? There's been a lot else going on in CIT, bro. And there was one guy standing. He's the last one. And I ask you, man, the last time I was on Dust Up Shakedown, and you guys said everybody that trains at fucking CIT is there to get CTE from Dricos. They are just bodies. That's what you told us.
You are fake news.
I didn't say it. The other guy said it.
Yeah, the other guy did say it. He's not wrong. Kraken did say that.
Hold on. They are all in the same boat right now. God damn it. Yeah.
When the whole lot's driving the bus, anybody can get thrown under it.
Anybody can get it. And right now I'm at the wheel. So, yo, I asked you, what's gonna happen when that last guy loses, bro? When he can't prepare for the one thing that Hamza's gonna do. And we all knew it going into the fight. Stevie Wonder could say it. I'm telling you right now. Stevie Wonder knew what Hamza was going to do. Everybody knew. Everybody could see.
Stevie Wonder.
Right? The last guy in CIT has now lost. Now we're seeing petitions out of South Africa. We're seeing people signing petitions, bro. They're bringing petitions over here to sack the coach.
Oh, get the fuck out of here, Cross. Fucking guy. The worst. You're the worst, dude.
So, yo,
I think
what's the feel in South Africa right now, yo? What is the feel? What's people saying? How's everybody feeling? What are you thinking about CIT and all the losses they've been taking there up until Dricos? Talk to the people.
So, if you're an MMA fan, you're still behind Dricos because we all saw what happened. We all saw the gap. And the fact is, there was a gap. There's no question. He was absolutely dominated by one move, which is okay. We're still behind him. Where it comes to the CTE and CIT and what they need to do going forward, I think one thing that's interesting is the Coach Monet has been coming out. He was saying, we want an immediate rematch. We're going to go and fix some things and come back. And then Drickus came out saying, well, what are you talking about? I want a rematch, which makes sense because he understands the level. And I agree with you, Cross. There were certain levels that were shown there. Even DDP said in his post-fight where Khamzat knew exactly what he was going to do next, and he stuffed all of it. So we understand the fact that Khamzat is a phenom. My only issue is how the fight went. But like I said, take nothing away from Khamzat, but that does not mean that DDP is not still at that level, that the rest of his arsenal does not exist. It simply means he's got a hole to fix. And we understand that. Does it mean that we need to send Coach Monet?
DDP needs to go to America to learn
Nah, bruh. Send him 2-3 years Dagestan and forget that.
Don't even send DDP. Send Coach
Send
Monet.
him 2-3 years Dagestan and
Because
forget.
he needs to bring that back to SA as a whole. Send the coach, not even the fighter. Then he brings it back. Send both of them, him and Drickus. Let them go and learn it. Because if that's the most, and I think Tom said earlier, if that's the most dominant style in MMA right now, then that's what they need to learn and then learn to counter as well. So going to Brazil for BJJ or something else, we all have that now. Everyone's learned that, but no one really
take
has.
away his claim for training in Africa authentically? The champion in Africa, does that take away his claim of being that authentic fighter from Africa, going to train in these other places and learn some of these holes?
What?
Because until he moves there, then it changes. Because his argument, and I completely agree, was that he's the only champion where that belt slept under the African sun, and that's not going to change because this is still where it's going to stay.
No, Yao. He said I'm the only African champ that was African born, African trained, and retains the belt in Africa. Bro, if you start training in America, you're deleting 1 out of 3 of your whole points.
But
bro,
also
South African MMA got set back about 20 years this past weekend. Like, I wouldn't even be out here saying, yeah, I'm in South Africa, dog. I know you got your head down, man. Like,
Ross brought the biggest spoon he could find today to stir the pot.
Or just
bro, it was brutal.
Come in. Pay people to come into your camp. Like it's like GSP used to do it all the time. Guys do it all the time. They'll like guys who really invest in their training camps pay people money to come to their home gym to train with the coaches that they've been training with for their whole entire lives. So I mean, like that's definitely an option too. You don't necessarily have to leave somewhere. And like for a fighter like me, like I'm hypothetically speaking, if a fighter of that level were to say, hey, listen, like I'll pay you to come train with me, I would say, fuck yeah. I would pack my bags up instantly. Like it would be a great opportunity. It wouldn't be that difficult to just pay someone or a bunch of guys to come down and, you know, just train with you.
And with that said, we saw how much DDP made in this fight. He now has the financial capability to do exactly what Tom is saying. So that's what I think. Yeah. So I agree with Tom 100%.
Or you could get a sponsorship to do it too. Like you don't have to necessarily use your purse of your earnings. You could go, like I'm sure, like he's a huge star in South Africa, and you could just go, like talk to a sponsor. Hey, like I need to get some guys to come down for my training camp. Is this something you could sponsor? And I'm sure there'd be sponsors jumping on board for it. And the only issue is just
got a big platform.
Financially, like guys just don't want to spend money, and you know that's kind of what it comes down to.
Man, just enjoy it, man. Just burn the whole gym to the ground. Let's be for real, man. Just burn it to the ground, man.
I was on the Ultimate Fighter with a guy from his gym, Mark Holm. He was one of his main training partners. That guy was a beast. Mark Holm is a fucking solid fighter, man. And the thing is, Mark Holm has really good grappling too. He's massive. I think he's a solid fighter. Everyone in the house he was on Team Shevchenko, was on Team Grasso. Everyone on Team Shevchenko was saying how solid of a fighter he is. And actually, he was on one of my cards before the Ultimate Fighter, who's Dana White's looking for a fight, because Drickus was on the Toronto card. He was already in Toronto with Drickus, and then they called him up, and it was 2 weeks' notice, and he fought one of my training partners, who's also very solid. So, I mean, like, I don't know, like, there's got to be solid guys from that gym if Mark Holm and Drickus have came from there. So I don't know.
Yeah, man. Sticking with you, Tom. I mean, you've been on the Ultimate Fighter. What's next for you? What banners and promotions you looking to work into? You looking to get back into the cage real soon? What's next for you?
I mean, it's really exciting because with the new Paramount deal, I'm hearing that the Contender Series is going to be a full-time thing. It's not going to just be seasonal. So that's something that's really exciting for me as a fighter, just because obviously there's going to be more opportunities to compete on the show. And we all know that that's kind of the only way to get in the show or in the UFC, unless it's a short notice opportunity, right? So they've stopped really signing guys outright. But I did see today that they signed Luke Riley outright, which is really interesting. And you don't really see that too often anymore. But from my perspective, I think I want to get like 2 more wins on the regional scene, and then I'll be able to get right back into the Contender Series. So
yeah.
Anyone got a question for Tom?
Yeah.
So when you were in the Ultimate Fighter house now, that was a great season. It had Mark Hume and Rudy Roots, if I'm not mistaken. They're both there that season out of SA. What was your opinion on South African MMA? Now, you've already mentioned Mark Hume, but what was your general opinion on the guys who had come through to the Ultimate Fighter house in that season?
I've actually fought in South Africa as well. I don't know if you knew that. I fought for EFC. So
you've been to the
that's why I knew Tom from.
I'm quite familiar with the scene out there, and Mark is like I said, he was a really solid fighter. He's definitely at the UFC level in my opinion. Rudy as well. Like he had really outstanding wrestling, and he was a solid fighter too. And I just think in South Africa, when I was there, when I fought for EFC, there's a big gap with like the lower level and the higher level guys. Like there doesn't seem to be any middle ground. And that's kind of where developing fighters in that sort of region of the world kind of comes into play. So, I mean, as far as I'm concerned, Mark, Holm, and Rudy were definitely solid fighters. So,
I have a question. If you could train, like you mentioned earlier, right? Like if somebody hit you up and said like, hey, we want to fly you out to train with fighter A, B, or C. If you could train with any fighter or fight camp in the world, who would you choose to train with, and what fight camp would you choose to do a full camp with?
Man, that's a great question. Obviously, when I take into consideration fight camps, it's like there's so many different aspects. Like, for example, you could go to Killcliff, and they for sure have the best roster for welterweights and middleweights. Like they're without a doubt the best ever. But again, at that point, like you're just going to be another body. Like I don't want to be DDP's body where like I'm there to get smashed by the guys that are in the UFC that are higher ranked than me, because you go to these gyms and you're just their dummy at some point, right? And you got to find a common middle ground where you're not getting beat up every single round, but you're also not you're not getting beat up every single round, but you're also not the best fighter there, right? So you got to find a middle ground where there's like a perfect match. And at this point, Extreme Couture was really good. I've been there a bunch of times, and they've got a lot of solid fighters. And, I've made really good friends with Mike Pyle, who really helps me out every single time I'm out there. He's a solid guy. And obviously, when I take into consideration, if I were to train anywhere in the world, you'd want Sun, right? So, I mean, Vegas is a great spot, and they have the UFC Performance Institute there. So, like, you're not just training at Extreme, you're going to the Performance Institute. And then when you're going to the Performance Institute, you're in the UFC headquarters, which means that you're kind of rubbing shoulders with the UFC execs, and they're getting to know your name. So, I mean, in that, taking that into consideration, it's like, I mean, you're getting the best of both worlds. You're getting really solid training. You're getting the UFC facility, and you're getting that short notice opportunity even more because you're in Vegas, where the UFC Apex fights are always happening. So, I mean, like if I had to choose somewhere, I think it would be Vegas, to be honest with you.
Right down the money, man. Right down the money. Crush, you got something?
What do you think of like just the Caucasus region right now? Kind of just got a stronghold over the UFC right now. Like, what do you think is gonna take for somebody to figure out how to deal with the style and just inject some new life into the championship levels into the UFC.
I mean, it's just that level of fighter is just like it's above kind of everyone else. And we saw back in the day, like, you know, Brazil was at that point at one point. Like they had BJJ black belts, and they were dominating everyone. You know, obviously Royce Gracie, UFC 1, and the very early UFCs. It's like that was a Dagestani guy, right? Like that's reference to the Dagestans now. It's like the BJJ guys back in the day. But I mean, like, it's just these guys are growing up wrestling bears. They're 2 or 3 years old. They're wrestling, you know, they're training, and I'm starting to see a lot more fighters coming out of that kind of world, or part of the world, because that's all they do out there. And now that it's become that big of a sport, you're seeing more guys and coming out of there. It's going to be tough. So breaking news. That's crazy.
Breaking news.
Breaking news, man.
Not surprising.
Brown Battle.
He got released. Is this real?
I mean, he missed weight by 4 pounds at 170, goes up to 185 in his next fight, and proceeds to miss weight by 4 pounds. And he was on a podcast the week before, drinking until like 11 at night. Yeah.
Shut up. He was?
Yeah. Literally, O'Day Osborne and him went on a podcast. And O'Day literally was saying on the podcast, yeah, I was telling him the whole night before, like, we got to get up at 9, we got to be at this podcast. And he was like, one more drink, bro. What? And then he literally showed a video on the podcast of, like, from his phone of him telling Brian Battle, like, hey, bro, we got to be up at 9 for this podcast. And Brian responds with, nah, dude, fuck that. I'm going to get one more drink and we'll still wake up at 8. And then he missed weight and he looked flabby as hell. Yeah,
it's on Twitter. Mm-hmm.
And I like the one time that I met Brian Battle was 2 years ago at International Fight Week. He was sloshed at a Twin Peaks in Vegas. So like, I say this as a Brian Battle fan, dude. Like, you got to get a nutritionist and you got to take the career more seriously, bro. Like, I literally have a bottle of whiskey sitting next to me on the damn desk. But come on, kid. I'm also not fighting professionally.
It's your job. When he fought Vitor Belfort, he went up, missed weight. And then I'm pretty sure he did get cut, but he came back to the UFC.
He came back. He had to fight 2 or 3 fights outside of the organization to fight his way back, though.
That's just a tough look when a guy is drinking a week before his fight. Okay, you know what? Like, okay, you missed weight. You're an idiot for doing it at 185. But like, fuck me, if you're out on drinking and it's public
and it's noted on a podcast, like, dude, literally, like, our whole thing on our podcast is we do the prediction show, we bet shots on the fights, and then on the reaction show we do the shots live. So I'm an advocate for drinking. I love it. But at the same time, again, like, when I was training, I was not drinking like this.
No.
And if I had any kind of like anything coming up, I damn sure wasn't drinking like this. So
I stopped drinking like 8 to 10 weeks before a fight.
I mean, it's fun to drink, but at the same time, like, when you have an event coming up, you've got to lock in the nutrition, and that's just going to hold off those extra pounds that you're not going to be able to cut otherwise.
It's not even just the nutrition aspect at that point. You just feel like shit. You're just not yourself. Like,
if you're training all the time too, yeah, dude, you're just depleting yourself.
You want to go into a fight like fully, like, in kill mode, like in your best form ever, and like drinking just takes all of that away. So yeah,
man. Hey, your people, salute to everybody that's been locked in with us. Big up every single one of you, man. It's been a fun show. I've enjoyed it. Tom, we're going to have you more on this type of show.
I would love that, man. You guys are fucking dope. You guys are so much fun, man. I really enjoyed this. You guys are all sick.
Yeah, man. Salute to you, man. Salute. People, we're going to be back again. We got the Shanghai card. Big up Charles Energy Johnson is on that card. This is his fight week, and we're going to be promoting social media on our platform all through the week. Stay locked, and we're going to be back on Friday for our prediction show. And we're going to be back on Wednesday, where we bring up Dust Off Shakedown. Salute to every single one of you, man. Salute to Tom. Salute to Yao. Crossover MMA. And I got my boy Olin. Big up yourselves. Thank you very much for pulling in. And up onto the next video. Hasta la vista. We're out. Salute.
Peace.
Where are you?
Hey guys, this is John Anik from the UFC. You're watching the Fight Week Show. Please subscribe. Not now, but right now. Subscribe to the Fight Week Show. We'll see you guys on the road soon.